Now, here is the best technique that I have found to do this, and that is, first off, I use liquid diamonds for this particular application because I don't want to have to worry about bubbles. No bubbles whatsoever. So you cure it until it's hard, like that. Then you take, and I have to turn this one light off because it will cure my UV resin before I get finished. But you take your UV resin, pour enough to get a little bit of a layer on top of this. You're going to spread out the UV resin, and I'm going to pause this while I do that. Okay, I have spread out my UV resin, and actually it looks like I missed a few spots here. And do not forget, UV resin also gets bubbles in it, just like your epoxy or polyester resin. These applicators, I love these. You can do so much with them. Okay, now I'm going to take my light, put it over the top of this, and cure it for about 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. And I have a 36 watt light. Okay, now cured. Well, I say cured. It's kind of a little tacky to the touch. You know, it's not that it sticks to your fingers or anything, but it just feels like it's not cured. So then I take the powder on an applicator and I just brush it onto the back of the piece. And I have tried many things. I tried nail polish on the back because a lot of videos and things that I watched showed this being done on fingernails. And I'm like, okay, so we'll use nail polish and see how that, and see, you can see how the powder, it just sticks really well to UV resin, extremely well. And you don't have to worry about waiting for your epoxy resin or polyester resin to reach that certain stage. In other words, you don't have to babysit this. You can just put the resin in, cure it, come back, put a thin layer of UV resin, cure that, and then your powder will just spread perfectly on the back. And once I'm done with that, I either pick a color or I put more clear on the back of regular resin. So you have a layer of epoxy resin, a very thin layer of UV resin, and then more epoxy resin on the back. Most of the time I like to put a colored resin on the back, and just know that the look can change with whatever colored resin you put on the back. Doesn't matter if you do it on a matte, using a matte mold. I'm using a matte mold here, and this is a shiny mold here. And when I'm done with all this, of course, I will show how each look, comes out. And anyway, I just want you to understand, your resin has to have just a little bit of tackiness for this powder to achieve that look like you're using the Cricut vinyl or Angelina film. It's really quite amazing, actually. Anyway, if you have any questions at all about this powder, about how to use it, if my video is not explaining it well enough, and that is a great possibility because I'm not a good explainer sometimes, just please reach out to me. But I am asking you, please, because I literally spent months, number one, mixing the powders to come up with something that looks like the vinyl, and then working on a proper technique so that it's easy to do and actually works. Do not share this with other people. I'm only doing this for the ones that actually bought the powder. You put your faith in me and bought the powder, so I'm presenting you with how I personally use this. This is my own personal technique. Like I said, experiment. Maybe you can come up with something better than I did. I'm not a rocket scientist, so that's a great possibility. Anyway, if I can help you, just reach out to me. Keep it secret and have fun.